Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, I just want to continue to say thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Before I continue, I just want to give a big thank you to Mazda for allowing me to have this beautiful 2024 Mazda CX-90. This is my second press vehicle from Mazda. This vehicle is all new for 2024, even though it came out this year. This is the replacement of Mazda's CX-9. So CX-9 goes bye-bye, this takes its place. And this has a lot of firsts. All new inline-six turbo motor, 8-speed automatic, a lot of luxury features. This thing is almost borderline luxury car and can definitely compete with the likes of the Acura MDX, Infiniti QX60, and in certain other vehicles, because it really is that nice. I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna review it. Stay tuned, get comfortable. That is coming up next. All right, let's review the 2024 Mazda CX-90. And I gotta be honest, Mazda, I think, nailed it and hit it out of the park. I first saw this reviewed in California, launched, and they got launched in California online, and it's beautiful. I mean, when I saw this on the reveal that Mazda did, it was beautiful. And starting in the front end, this is a completely new design language, familiar design language to current Mazdas. This is the Kodo design. So 2.0, you have the grille right here. The lights, as you can see, they're a little smaller. So you got low beam, high beam in one bucket right there. And then you have the turn signal integrated into the grille right there. Integrated parking sensors all over the front. Functional air vents right there. Beautiful, kind of like waterfall cascading grille with the integrated parking sensors in there. You do have a 360 camera right underneath the Mazda emblem. And let's just look around this thing. And this is a lot of firsts for Mazda. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this has Mazda's first inline-six, and they're very proud of it. As you guys can see, there's a nice little inline-six badge right there. They're very proud of it. Mazda's first also 8-speed automatic, so no more 6-speed. This replaces the Mazda CX-9. Sticker price for this is about $39,000 for the base trim, which comes with the same motor but detuned to 280 horsepower and 332 pounds-feet of torque. 8-speed automatic, all-wheel drive is standard across the board, no matter which trim do you get. But this one has the high motor, 340 horsepower and 369 pounds-feet of torque, which is a lot of power. And it does have a mild hybrid, which they all do, which is a 48 volt motor that sits behind the engine, between the transmission and the engine, and it works as a helper motor. Not so much for fuel economy, more for power. But the fuel economy for this is rated for I've been getting about 23.5, 24 with light driving. I will leave the specs in the screen, the actual city, highway, and combined fuel economy, so you guys can see. My tester is sitting on Mazda's largest wheel to date. This is 21-inch wheels wrapped in Falcon tires, 275s all around, 45. These tires are absolutely massive. And this is also Mazda's new color, Artisan Red, which, as you guys may know, Mazda does like the red, and it looks beautiful. You can see a little bit of black tones in the sun. As you guys can see, it's kind of like black and red at the same time. You do have that nice signature little chrome treatment on the bottom, and it does say Mazda at the end. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. Hard to see pick up on camera, but it says Mazda right there, which is a nice little touch. And continuing in the back, you do have integrated sensors for the doors, which I'll demonstrate that later in the interior portion. Massive rear door. And looking at the back of this thing, it is very nice. The lighting, as you can see, everything is LED. Turn signals have this little kind of like a heartbeat beat to them. On camera it's flickering a little weird, but this is the new Mazda's lighting signature as well. There's that proud Mazda CX-90 badge. Very, very nice. The exhausts are hidden. It is dual exhaust, but they're underneath the bumper. And let's take a quick peek at the trunk, but then we'll go over more in detail the interior portion. But so this is a 3-row family SUV. As you guys can see, there is the beautiful interior. There is the 3rd row seats. Easy to pull them up, just like so. Very simple, straight to the point. No motors, nothing. And you do have a decent sized cargo capability behind the 3rd row. These headrests go up like so. And the interior colors are, you can get it in black, white, or this color, which is this beige orangey material kind of. And let's push it down. You just gotta pull and push. Very simple, straightforward. The tailgate does have the kick thing where you can stand behind the car and it will open. Back here you do get power outlets. So you have 120 volt outlet right here. Traditional cigarette style outlet right there. This you can get a cargo cover, so it hooks up right here. The rear passengers do have USB-Cs on both sides, so we'll go over a little bit of the interior detail. And there's a little cargo cubby, and believe it or not, this vehicle does have a spare tire underneath this. There is actually a spare tire under here, which is very uncommon nowadays because most cars will give you a fix-a-flat. All right, let's go over the interior, the technologies, all the creature comforts, and then we go for a final drive. But before we do that, let's take a look at the engine bay. So to get in it, you can close the core like so. You press this button here. Mirrors, of course, power folding. You unlock it like so. And let's take a look at the engine bay. Let's pop the hood so you guys can see Mazda's new masterpiece engine. Underneath this absolutely massive hood lives a inline-six. This is a 3.3 liter inline-six, which they all come with this way. There is a plug-in hybrid version, which I reviewed, and I'll leave the link in the video somewhere. So underneath door number 1, there is another door. So the engine lives under here. You could untwist it like so. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. And there it is. There is the Mazda's inline-six. There is this turbo right there on the side. Not much to look at if you don't know what you're looking at, but it is pretty cool for car folks to be able to look at this engine. Mazda's very proud of this engine. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technologies, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's step inside the 2024 Mazda CX-90. To get in, you push your hand on the door handle, open like so. And let's look at the interior, and it's absolutely beautiful. The materials in here, it's borderline luxury car. This is suede insert on the doors. This is real wood trim. Some people may think it's fake, but it's not. This is real wood. Right here, you have different colored wood. You can get a lighter version with the white interior. You got black padded armrest right here. There's your controls for all your windows. Power folding mirrors, auto up and down all 4 windows. Door lock right here. Pockets are okay. You can put a decent sized bottle of water right here. There's the Bose tweeter. Speakers up here. And the seat, of course, is full power seat. 2-way lumbar support. And there's a look at the beautiful Napa leather seats that this particular trim has. They're heated and ventilated. You got this nice little signature material here in the seat, which is pretty cool. And the steering wheel is also like a 2-tone steering wheel. But before we get in, let's look at the controls on the side. So you do have the button here to turn off the active safety systems. front and rear parking sensors, traction control. This is the engine start-stop technology, which Mazda calls I-stop. This is the controls for the opening the hatch. And you got 2 memory seats right here, controls, which remembers the steering wheel and the mirrors and the seat and the height of the heads-up display. All right, let's step inside this beautiful CX-90. Let's put our foot on the brake. Start button is right here. And there's a look at what the car looks like when you're starting it up. This is a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. This is Mazda's largest screen to date. This is also I believe it's also a 12-inch screen, but I gotta double check the specs. It is a full LCD screen. These needles are all digital. There's not a real gauges. The steering wheel is power tilt telescopic, and the screen changes if you put it in different modes. So right now it's in normal mode. The mode selector is right here. Mazda calls it MI Drive. So if you flip it forward, it goes into sport mode. And as you can see, the gauges get red, then down to back to normal. And then here is off-road mode, which also changes a little bit. As you guys can see, it gives you a compass and everything. So, and if you go back to normal, and then when you activate the smart cruise control, also the gauges changes to like this, and it shows you a little bit more information in the instrument cluster. And the speedometer, the heads-up display is there. Let's see if I can focus. Yep, there it is. You guys can see the little floating 0 and the information. It provides you turn-by-turn navigation with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and also the factory navigation, which is very cool. And all right, so continuing on the interior, material in here are very, very nice. Fit and finish, it's very, very nice. Everything you touch is very soft. Yes, there are some plastics, here and there, but overall, I think Mazda nailed it. Thank you, Mazda, for not having piano black. This is wheelwood trim, like I mentioned. The shifter is a little weird to get used to it. So right now it's in park. You gotta press the button and go right for reverse. And of course, this vehicle does have a 360 camera with different trajectory lines and different angles. And then you shift down for drive. And then when you go to park, you gotta go all the way up and you gotta go to the left. There's a button for the downhill assist. So what that does is like a cruise control for when you're going up and down hills. You turn that on, and it helps you going down a steep hill. That activates the camera. So if you press that, it activates the camera front and rear. And this is Mazda's latest version of the Mazda Connect infotainment, which is available in every single of their products. Some people think it's complicated and convoluted. I have no idea why. It's very straightforward. You have information, entertainment, communication, navigation, and settings. I don't understand what's so complicated about this little rotary dial. I don't get it. You can just scroll down, click, and you have entertainment, and you have pretty much everything. Same for this button right here. You just press it down for mute. You have navigation, you have media, you have the home button, and you have the back button. I don't understand. But anyway, moving on, this entire trim here is also suede. You can get the certain trims, you can get it in fabric with very nice stitching. Button for the hazard button right there, which is nice. Physical controls for your climate controls and your seat. So of course this vehicle has dual zone climate control. Let me lower the fan speed a little bit. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, cool seats, which is definitely useful right now, and fan speed, mode, activating the rear climate control, which we'll go over in a second. And it's also linked to the front. So this is a 3-zone climate control vehicle, heated and cooled for the passenger as well. The center console opens in bifold like so. You got 2 USB-Cs right there. not that deep. This is a little shallow, and that's primarily because the engine and transmission is almost, they're in here, so and they need room for the transmission. But the rear center console, which I'll show in the back area, it is a little larger. And this vehicle does have Mazda's active safety system, so blind spot warning, lane departure assist, lane keep assist, and highway assist. So it does, you know, will stay in the lane, and it will auto steer on its own. It will do stop and go as well. Cup holders are decent, not too bad. We've got a little lid here to cover them. Very nice. There's the controller, so you got electronic parking brake right here, auto brake hold, volume up and down, and you have your favorites right there. All right, let's take a look at the back seat. Back seat, then the third seat, and then we go for a drive of this 2024 Mazda CX-90. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the back seat of the Mazda CX-90. And this door is absolutely massive. This is a gigantic door, and you have the same very nice materials as in the front. The suede insert here at the doors, mirror controls, the door handles right here, double stitching, black stitching here. This might be faux leather, but that's okay because it looks very good. And you do have sunshade here, or AKA peasant blockers. Shout out to the straight pipe guys, big fan. And let's step inside the back seat. So I am about 5'8". The seat is adjusted to how I drive. This seat could move back a little bit, and the seat is reclining. I can recline the back seat, and I have plenty of leg room. Oh, and I did forget to mention, this vehicle does have a panoramic sunroof. And let me see if I can open it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. It doesn't go, it's not the entire roof, but it's a decent size. So you have this giant glass up front, which opens and tilts, and you have back here for the passengers, which opens up the air. I mean, it makes it very airy and big back here. There is the center console. You do have two air vents right here. You got heated and cooled both outboard seats. You got controls for the third climate control zone here. You have map pockets back here. And again, these are Napa leather seats, very comfortable. And let me see if I can flip the camera around. Maybe not. I will flip it in a second. All right, I guess I can't do it. I will have to flip it another way, but anyway, let's take a look at the third seat, and then I will flip the camera back there so you guys can see. And also, before we go back there, you do have another center console here, like I mentioned, and this one is larger. So the well is deeper back here. No USBs like in the front because they're in the middle. And you do have two decent sized cup holders, and you also get a little storage cubby here, which is also very nice and helpful. So you can put, you know, whatever items you may want for the kiddos or whatever the case may be. All right, let's take a look at the third seat of the Mazda CX-90 and see how a 5'8" person fits back there. Stay tuned for that. Okay, and we are back. So as you guys can see, headroom is decent. You know, maybe I have one hand of headroom, and it's not a penalty box to be back here. For a short trip, again, depending on the size of the person, it's not too much of a penalty box to sit in the third row of the Mazda CX-90. The only thing is, this is a 2-seater back here. There is an 8-passenger version, so that means that you might get a bigger seat back here, and you get a bench seat in the middle. Other trims, I forgot to mention, you can get them without the captain's chairs and without that center console. So you can choose to get it without the center console. This way you have a pass-through and you can get to the third seat easy. All right, folks, let's go for a drive of the 2024 Mazda CX-90. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2024 Mazda CX-90. This is the 3.3 Premium Plus. This is the most expensive version of the CX-90. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning of the video, but just in case, this one stickers for $61,000 as tested. It pretty much has every single option you can get. All right, let's go for a drive. And I'm starting off in normal mode, and then I'll switch over between modes. And there's a look at the 12.3-inch infotainment screen. And one thing that this vehicle had, I forgot to mention, it has something called like driver, kind of like you could do driver profiles. So it knows, it has facial recognition software. So that little circle right there is actually a camera. So it knows who you are based on, I guess, the profile. And I'm guessing, and also the key. So you can program settings like the climate control, the seats and everything, and it will go back to the preferred settings of that individual, that particular driver. And overall driving, this has been a treat. I've been living with this vehicle for the past week. Thank you again, Mazda, for allowing me to have these cars in my home test area. And I first drove this at a IMPA event 2023 for like a hot 5 minutes, and I was very, very impressed. I was very impressed. And that inline-six engine definitely, you're definitely going to hear it, which I would try to demonstrate it once I get into the highway. But overall, it's very serene, very quiet. I am noticing a little bit of chatter back there in terms of the glass. You know, I don't know if this because this is a press vehicle. I don't know how the another one will sound, but it's very minor. It's not a big deal. But let me let's go into the highway here. Oh, nope, wrong exit. And excuse the fan speed because it is very, very hot today. So I am using the AC. Put the phone there. And let's put it into sport mode to get in here. And this vehicle definitely has power to keep up with most cars on the road. Like I mentioned, the gauges get red. That's the left. But stepping on this thing, I can definitely keep up with that car in front of me without no problem. I mean, again, this is a 3-row SUV with very wide tires, and it handles like a dream. If you care about driving and you don't just want an appliance, and you care about steering feel, engagement, throttle response, and handling, this thing, for being something this big, drives like it's very small. You know, an example will be it drives like a CX-5, and it's not. But passing power, it does have power, this thing. It definitely does. And it does have paddle shifters on the steering wheel, so you can downshift the 8-speed automatic. And you put it back to normal. It's very, very, very nice. Let's do one more pull. And yeah. Again, this is a 3-row SUV. Driving this quick, it's simply amazing. And it's a testament to Mazda's engineering and driving philosophy about driving feel and driving engagement. This will give you a smile every time you drive. So just because you have a family doesn't mean you have to drive something boring and not exciting. But anyway, this has been my first in-depth review of the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing my videos. I also do DIY videos as well if you're new to my channel. And for all you OG subscribers, thank you again for the support. I really appreciate it. This is a dream of mine to be doing this, and it's all thanks to you guys in subscribing and liking and sharing my videos. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care and stay safe.